Good evening, folks. Tonight, we are going to talk about aliens, and not just any alien story. We are going to we are about to celebrate the 55th anniversary of the Falcon Lake Incident. And apparently, I need to learn my geography because here I am thinking that Falcon Lake was in Ontario this whole time, and it's in my own backyard. All right, we're going to start this fun story in just a moment. Hey! All right. So tonight, unfortunately, Heather Bador is not going to join us. She's feeling a little under the weather, or she got abducted by aliens. I don't know. We'll find out soon.
I'm pretty sure it was that one.
This Falcon Lake incident, it happened on May 20th, 1967. Falcon Lake, Whiteshell Provincial Park in Manitoba, not Ontario. I grew up fairly close to that area, and for some reason, I always thought that Falcon Lake was just like right there on the border of Ontario, Manitoba, Ontario, and I always thought that it was in Ontario. I'm learning stuff every day, folks. But yeah, this guy, his name is Stefan Michalek. He lived in River Heights, Winnipeg, not that far from where I live right now. He was an industrial mechanic and an amateur geologist, and would regularly travel to Falcon Lake as a prospector searching for quartz and silver. Michalek had previously stalked and claimed at the Falcon Lake area prospect for precious metals, and left home on a long weekend in May 1967. He was aware that quartz veins within the Precambrian... Wow, I really need to learn how to read. I am sorry, Wikipedia. Precambrian portions of the Canadian Shield within Whiteshell Provincial Park yielded precious metals such as gold and nickel, whilst inspecting the quartz vein embedded with the Canadian Shield strata. All right, so let's get to the story. According to Michalek, he looked up to see two cigar-shaped objects hovering around 45 meters, 150 feet away from him, and emitting a reddish glow. He described the objects as cigarette-shaped things with humps in the middle. Michalek initially assumed that the objects were American experimental aircraft. All right, so I have a picture of what he describes them as, but I'm not sure where he went from the cigar shape to
Apparently, cigars back then were way different looking than what we have now.
I don't know. But okay.
You know what? Surprisingly, when I was doing all the research on aliens, a lot of people say that alien ships look cigar shaped. Like that's what they claim is a cigar shape. And I was like, that's a very interesting way to describe a UFO. Like, oh, look at the cigar in the sky.
That to me is more cigar shaped, isn't it? I don't know.
So like,
I'm confused. Well, okay.
Like, okay, so that's more of a cigar shape. It's kind of smaller on the
end. I would call that more bowl shaped, not cigar shaped. But then again, it's 1967 and drugs were running rampant.
Yes.
Okay, so where did we go? Okay. Okay, yeah. He described the objects as cigarette-shaped things with humps in the middle. Michalek initially assumed that the objects were American experimental aircraft. One of the objects landed on a nearby rocky platform and took on a disc shape. Okay, so it ship shapes. Shape shifts?
Shapeshifts.
There we go.
Yeah.
I've
But
been
yeah,
up way
as
too
we
I
learned
was up
before
way
the
too
show
early this
tonight,
morning.
neither of us can talk tonight. We learned this before the show, so you guys are in for a good, nice long ride today.
We know by now not to take this show serious, right?
You know what? I honestly hope so, but I don't know. If this is your source of facts,
I'm looking off Wikipedia, folks. You know Wikipedia is questionable.
yes.
Um,
I changed it yesterday.
while the other craft flew off after hovering in the air for several minutes, Michalak, while observing the landed craft, took time to sketch the object, which landed in front of him for half an hour, before deciding to approach the craft. He attempted to find identifying insignias, finding none, and observed that the craft notably lacked any seams and noted the metallic surface appeared smooth, resembling colored glass. It was 10.5 meters, or 34 feet, in length and 4.5 meters, 15 feet, in height. The landed craft also changed color between gray and red and resembled hot stainless steel, with a golden glow emanating around the vehicle. Michalek recalled the scent of sulfur and the warm air emitted by the craft. Hearing the sounds of the whirring motor as well as hissing sound from the air being expelled. According to Michalek, he observed that the craft had an open door on its side with bright lights, and within the craft he could hear the voices of individuals which were muffled by the sounds produced. Michalek claimed that the speakers sounded human, with two discernible voices, one higher than the other. Michalek said he initially attempted to communicate with the Yankee Boys in English and offered mechanical support. Assuming the pilots were experiencing mechanical difficulties, his exclamation silenced the talking as the talking he had heard. When he did not hear a response, Michalek said he attempted to communicate with the individuals in Polish, Russian, and finally German. So, okay, yeah, like what Keisha said to me earlier, he's not dumb.
Yeah, he's got to be pretty smart in order to know that many languages. I'm trying to teach myself a second language right now, and it's like 4 months in, and I know bonjour.
I don't know how I picked this up, but apparently I can say who cut the cheese in French, and I have no idea how that's going to help.
You'll have to teach me that.
Yeah.
I need some more French in my life. I know the basics, like what are your name and oy vey. Okay.
Yeah.
So
oh,
I was
sorry.
trying my hardest not to interrupt you.
No, I know.
Because
like
my face was probably talking out loud, but the rest of me was like, shut up, Keisha, they don't need to know this. So I was like, how close was he to his bong? And what kind of music was he listening to at the time to hear voices? So that's what was in my head, guys. If you're curious, just a tidbit of what's in Keisha's head. Johnny's gonna be so mad at me for saying it. But so hi guys. But yeah. So go on with the story before we get too sidetracked.
Michalek claimed he continued to interact with the craft despite the lack of a response and approached it, donning his pair of welding goggles. Okay, do guys just carry welding goggles just randomly when they're going metal detecting?
Maybe
I've
if
never
don't, they should.
But okay, so I don't know how. I obviously don't know how welding goggles work, but you can't really see through them very well. maybe it was different back in the 60s. I don't know.
Are they like super super dark like
I
sunglasses?
yeah.
That's
Okay,
what I imagine in
they're
my head.
supposed to protect your eyes from the bright arc from welding, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. Uh, I'm gonna have to talk to my husband about this later. But yeah, so donning his pair of welding goggles as protection within the craft, Michalek claimed to have seen light beams and panels flashing various colors. The craft appeared empty, and as he walked away, 3 panels slid in to seal the craft. And when he touched the craft, he found it so hot that the fingertips of his gloves melted, which I couldn't find pictures of the melted gloves. Question mark. Michalek says that the craft then turned counterclockwise, revealing a panel with a grid of holes that emanated a blast of heated gas that hit him in the chest. Keep that in mind. Hit him in the chest, blew him backwards, and set fire to his clothing. Michalek said that he immediately tore the burning clothing off as the craft flew away. Okay.
This is the skeptic side of
yes. Here is the shirt. It is aimed at the grid like pattern is on his chest, right?
almost close to his neck, yeah.
Okay.
It would definitely be his right
Why is
booby.
the grid like pattern on his stomach?
Honestly, the shirt kind of looks like his wife threw an iron at him. Does it not? It looks like there's an iron mark, just a weird square one. Maybe the alien was ironing his shirt for him and left it on a little too long. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah. I don't
But yeah,
don't
that's
get that.
definitely in the wrong spot.
Okay, so apparently, according to his story that he told for many years before he died, he the wounds would appear throughout his life as like little bubbles and blisters. Okay, so he went to the Mayo Clinic, and apparently they did find that his wounds coincided with what would have been brain fart. Wow.
3rd-degree burns or something.
Yeah. And so yeah, it would bubble up and turn into blisters, but still, that's his chest. He got shot in the chest.
So go back to the other picture of him. Okay, go back to the other one. Okay, does anybody else realize that the dots don't line up?
No, they don't at all.
No, like there's missing dots. There's more dots on him than there is on the shirt.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
And not only that, it's like, okay,
did anybody take a ruler and like measure too?
On the sides, you think that he would have burns all over where the shirt is burnt, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is why the story.
It kind of looks like it was ripped off at the top.
Yeah, he ripped it off.
That's some impressive ripping off, though. Like I don't think I could do that with my spaghetti strap, let alone something like
Eli,
and get that nice of a tear. Not to be the skeptic or anything, but like, guys, did anybody else look at this at all?
Yeah, I don't know.
Until now?
But like, okay, so yeah, he was, yeah, his family was harassed quite a bit. Okay, so skeptical reactions. Skeptics of the Falcon Lake UFO incident state that Michalek's burns were as a result of an accident steaming from alcohol use. I I don't know that at all. I don't know how that's. Uh, I've never heard of that. But yeah, and that his claim was in order to hide their cause. In reporting the incident, Michlik would potentially dissuade any competitors from prospecting his site. The subsequent frenzy by the public and the media caused the reverse effect, however, with numerous individuals descending upon the site. The pieces of melted radio. Okay, so according to the Mayo Clinic, they did say that his burns were very conclusive of radioactive burns. But again, I think that they would have been.
But then again, back then, isn't that kind of a thing? People were like, "Oh, here, have some radioactive stuff."
Oh yeah,
like it didn't start becoming like more illegal towards now times.
Yeah, oh yeah, because I think in like the 50s, 40s or 50s, they actually had radioactive stuff in like the science project. Like you can actually buy like the science kits.
I really want to know how all of our parents and grandparents survived. Because they had lead in their paint, they had radioactive stuff. If a bomb hits you, you hide under a desk. So, I mean, y'all are still alive. Congratulations. Kudos to you for surviving all of that. And no seatbelts, guys.
No. Hey, I have a 66 Dodge Coronet, and that thing that thing does have seatbelts, but I think my father-in-law actually put the seatbelts in for safety regulations.
No fun.
But yeah, so radioactive burns that apparently appeared throughout the time that he was alive.
So wouldn't that like sear off? Okay, can you put the picture of him back up?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm tearing this apart. Wouldn't it sear his chest hair?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Like
the
I opened up the stove to get food out of my oven earlier, and my hair went floop. So seeing as he got hit with something that was supposedly that fierce, he should have way less chest hair than that.
And if it was steam, yeah, he'd have a bit of a redder mark than that of, a couple.
Oh, see, you know what spots. I think what they did is they put a meat tenderizer on a fire and just decided to see how many times they could meat tenderize him, and he just couldn't take it, so he only got one.
Well, and I asked my husband this. I'm like, are there any grills from the 60s or even the 50s, I guess, but that would match that mark on his stomach?
Oh, you know what? I am going to look that up right now because I collect things. What year was it from?
1967. And yeah, the burn marks on the shirt doesn't line up with the burn marks on his stomach.
Yeah, I'm looking this up because I am curious now.
Okay, so initial conclusions assume that Michlik was hallucinating as a result of alcohol consumption. The investigation by the USAF ended in inconclusive results. Both the RCMP and Canadian Armed Forces reports on the incident similarly yielding inconclusive results. The RCMP report emphasized their inability to explain Michlik's physical effects, burns, and the burn circle of vegetation from the site. The substantial number of publications from ensuing investigations exist on the public record. These include RCMP, RCAF reports, and the case held within the National Archives. Analysis of the site yielded unusual results, including a 4.5 meter, 15 feet circle burn vegetation in the site, Michalak claimed the landing occurred, and the presence of highly radioactive elements within soil samples and clothing Michalak had removed. Metal that was superheated was found to have been melted into cracks of the rock and expedited high levels of radioactivity. The anomalous reading were subsequently uncovered to be due to a radium vein which was near the site.
They did make... Okay, so I found one.
Oh, okay.
It is a rectangle iron.
Oh.
And they're called sad irons. No, that's what it's called on here. I don't know if that's really what it is. But yes.
Oh, Keisha, I love you. Look at your brain working.
I know. I'm like all into this now, guys. What are you? You want to learn more about irons tonight, guys?
Dan said, I believe that there are still barbecue grill pans that have circles rather than hashtag shapes. Okay.
Yeah, Carl brought up in the next comment the same thing you did.
How high that burn is compared. Yeah.
They don't match up. It's like the burn mark on his shirt is here, but the actual burn is like down here. Unless he was like, his shirt was all the way down here somewhere when he got burned, or maybe he was already trying to tear it off because it was on fire when it got hit by the iron.
Maybe he pissed off his wife a little too much, and the wife threw the iron at him.
Yeah, she had to be a good throw in order to get it straight on like that. Either that or it was just like a punch. She was like just holding on to it and just bam. But it wouldn't make sense.
Carl, that makes more sense.
Yeah. So why do you guys watch this show again? It's for all of the scientific facts.
But clearly this wasn't an Amber Heard situation where he wanted to protect her and make up some asinine story of being
I
attacked.
cut my own finger. She didn't cut it off. I cut it off.
Well, okay, at that time, what would be more realistic? Being abused by your wife or being attacked by aliens?
Probably aliens in this day and age. I would go with aliens. Oh, he fell asleep while ironing his shirt. Is that where we're going with Dan? Self-ironing. That's what he was doing. It wasn't his wife. No, I know what you mean, Dan, but my brain went to self-ironing.
A reason to drink is always an angry wife. And we're talking about Amber. I'm sorry. I understand that this is a serious subject, guys, but,
Are we ever serious?
No.
Okay, then you guys are in the wrong because you came here misinformed. So, welcome to whatever show this is.
But no, to me, this has always blew my mind. And okay, they had this story up on Unsolved Mysteries back in the 90s.
I'm gonna have to go and find that episode and watch it now. Was he married at the time?
Yes. And he had a son. Or has a son. And I think his son even has told the story, wrote about it as well. There is a book out. There is the Canadian Mint even released a coin on it commemorating the 50th anniversary.
Seems super extra.
Not a lot. Obviously, not a lot happens up in Canada that is like this unusual.
Willow, can you put that comment up on? What puzzles me.
Okay. What puzzles me is why he bought his wife a radioactive
So,
iron.
back then, I can see them doing anything because I was reading an article about books the other day to where they used to use arsenic to color some books to make like the green color on books. And they were like, you might have some of these books on your shelf. And I was like, huh, I do. I collect old literature from 1800s and they're green. And I was like, I probably got arsenic sitting right there. Am I going to turn it in? No, because it's pretty sweet. So
Didn't they all like
if I die of arsenic poisoning, guys, just
in not just the Victorian era, but
back in
before
like
that?
the early 1900s and the mid 1900s, I thought they
Yeah,
did it as well.
they had that in dresses as well, or some
Yes, they
outfits
used it
for
to
yeah.
dye the dresses because it made a very pretty emerald green. And you know, I was reading that article in the newspaper the other day because that's the kind of thing I read.
That okay, so that tank top must have been really baggy for that to happen. Because who? Okay, other
As far
than
as I
rednecks,
know,
I
back
apologize. I apologize right now for bringing in rednecks into the situation, but I've never met any guy that wears baggy. We call it wife beaters up here. I apologize,
oh no,
but
that's what we call them down here too. So the only ones that I've seen wear that baggy, like back then, clothes were generally tight fitting because everything was, you know,
yeah,
they dressed rather nice, rather dapper, if you please. Um, Nowadays, yeah, I can see the druggie next door wearing a really loose fitting one because I have had that happen. Um, Also, side note, I have a shirt that almost looks exactly like that, but I wore it to an Insane Clown Posse um, concert. And it's ripped like that and everything.
yeah.
But mine was just ripped by people. It was not set on fire. So that
Well,
I can
also
remember.
around okay, unless you got a second hand. Yeah. But there's a question in my mind. Didn't guys usually wear those undershirts under other shirts though? So where's the
Yeah,
actual
so
top that he
generally
was
you
wearing?
wear like a button up over the top of that,
Yeah.
especially if you're. Does it say where he was again?
Uh in relation to the
Like,
ship?
yeah.
Uh I'm not obviously
Oh
okay,
no,
so
just in general, where was he located? In his
uh
like backyard type thing again?
no, he was out prospecting for precious metals.
Okay.
Out by the Canadian. Well, I guess I don't know. I guess the Falcon Lake isn't the Canadian. Well, the start of the Canadian Shield, I guess. But
Okay.
yeah, it is. It is fairly rocky.
Right now, isn't it cold up where you live?
Yeah, it's rainy,
Okay, so why would
and
he only be wearing that shirt then? Like generally you would if it's cold outside and rainy outside.
May Long weekend it can go up and down with weather. Usually it does rain around May Long weekend, but we do have some nice weather.
I'm
People have
looking it
been
up.
known to people have been known to well are known to camp during May Long weekend, which is our Victoria Day weekend. Um, what is it for you guys? I heard it the other day.
Um
You guys have a long weekend coming up in May, right?
yes. I think it's Memorial Day
Memorial
weekend.
Day. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And it was 1965, correct?
67.
1967.
Okay.
Okay.
It was one of the hot days in Canada. Apparently, Carl already knows.
Okay, because I'm looking at I'm looking at a
Yeah.
chart that apparently charts all of the Winnipeg temperature history. Um, and it said that it was. Let me see. According to this one, it was About 37 degrees Fahrenheit. So why was
Okay.
he just wearing
See,
the one shirt? Was he not cold?
you think?
I'm looking up the facts tonight,
No.
guys.
Oh, no. I completely.
Also, this is very like
Only 3 hot days in Canada.
yes. Yeah, why would Okay,
Our
so
hot days don't even start until July or August, so May's usually cold, like rainy and.
yeah, cuz normally it's about 30 some odd degrees around this time of the year in Manitoba and Winnipeg and all that
Yeah.
good stuff. And that's normally they take for some reason they take the temperature like at 8 p.m. every night. Um which is cool, I guess. But
Because we don't like going outside any other time.
just let's go out at 8, guys.
Hey, right, Carl? The whole thing is rather suspect. Yes, I completely agree with you. Like
We're tearing this apart tonight, guys.
This story
Sorry.
has so many holes in it, pun intended.
Some alien stories are pretty, like, oh, that could be a thing. But this one seems very sus. Like, they were like, we need some attention. So I saw an alien. So, guys, welcome to the back of the cereal box.
Okay,
And Cryptid Crunch.
so Illinois, or sorry, where you're from, is fairly known for alien sightings.
Yes.
Right?
So when I was going down the Yeti hole of aliens and UFO sightings, I learned that Illinois is actually one of the biggest hotspots. It's actually number 8 in sightings in the US, but the Chicago area is one of the biggest hotspots. They started recording UFO sightings in 1953. Is that what I told you earlier, Willow? I think 1953.
I think so.
And since then, there's been over 90,000 UFO sightings. They say that about 95% of that can be, just weather balloons and planes and UFOs. Yeah, definitely UFOs. And like shooting stars and stuff. But y'all, that means that there's still like 5,000 real sightings. I don't know if I did my math right, but I imagine that that's what. Let me do the math real quick. I'm trying to be as professional as possible.
I like Carl. They hired a Canadian company to build a flying saucer. They flew it a few times. Could have been there. Okay, we were around this time. Hold on.
4,736 real sightings. Just throwing that out there, guys.
Okay, so you guys heard of the Avro Arrow, right?
I have not.
Okay, so the Canadian Air Force was working on a plane. I just want to correct my brain on. Okay, so 1950s, around that time, we were the Canadian. We had an Avro Arrow, which was known as one of the fastest planes that we had. Unfortunately, Prime Minister John Diefenbaker canceled the project in 1959. So the Avro Arrow, I'll show you I'll save. It's a beautiful plane, and those who ended up who were working on the project ended up working on other projects, such as the AR-17, the Blackbird. So that's our Avro Arrow.
Nice,
So
nice.
I can kind of see, how people would think that, oh, the Canadian government was working on more projects like that. But how do we go from that to that?
Well, honestly, this is the US's fault because we're gonna blame everything on the US. But we were supposed to storm Area 51. What was it, like a year or two ago? But they chickened out. So, like, we could have known all this stuff,
Hey,
guys.
a few people showed up.
Yeah, but nothing came of it. Come on, guys, work harder next time. Next time, I'll lead the convoy. um, no, but yeah, we
The
could have found out.
Avro car was more of a flying jeep. Yeah, exactly. I no, it like this still like flying saucers, like being an experiment with the okay, which bugs me because yes, I do want to believe that we're not alone in the universe, but our technology just isn't there.
Yeah, even if they are. Yeah, so my brain took me some weird places earlier, and as I was going down the Yeti hole of aliens again, I was thinking maybe we aren't actually seeing aliens, maybe we're seeing ghosts of aliens, and then somehow it trailed off several different places. Um, so that
See,
was fun.
I can kind of believe that where we're seeing little blips of you know time past or even time to come. Uh, I don't
Like
know.
all of
I
those
totally believe
pictures that
that.
they have of aliens or time travelers, maybe they were just accidentally getting something, extra, or they were just getting a ghost on camera. Ghosts of aliens. We are getting way off the path here. Carl, welcome to Cryptid Crunch.
Uh,
Yeah, so that ended up spiraling into a lot of random information that I
right.
never needed to know.
So for those of you who are coin collectors, if you guys want to collect this coin, again, it was brought out for the 50th anniversary of the incident.
Y'all have
It
$20 coins?
special edition coin. This, yeah, this wouldn't be part of your change unless people are really that stupid to use it as money.
I collect Canadian monies, so Willow, if you don't mind sending some down here. Uh, but yeah, I
But yeah,
I might need a Canadian $20 bill
it
or
glows in
coin.
the dark. So
Yes. Why
if you
doesn't
guys
our
are
money grow in the dark? I'm kind of
we
jealous.
honestly, we have beautiful money up here. I am surprised that you guys don't have like special edition coins that come out.
See, we did back in the 90s, they started doing that with quarters. It was probably before the 90s, but that's when I remember doing it cuz I collected them. But they started doing it with quarters and you could actually like vote on it in class what you wanted the design to be on
Oh,
the
okay.
next quarter, and each quarter would be a different state of the United States. So you can collect like those, but they all look the same and it's not as fun. I want some glow in the dark money, guys. It might give you like the ability to have superpowers by the end of the day, but I want glow in the dark money.
Yeah. I know that a couple of years ago they came out with a toonie that like one of the pictures on the toonie glowed in the dark. The toonie is our $2 coin, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, are we talking about cartoons now?
No, the loonie is our dollar coin, and for some reason, our government likes giving us freaking coins. And where can we pay? You might have to look that up on eBay.
Willow,
You probably have better.
Here, basically coins here are like what we call it just pocket change because it literally sits in our pockets and 95% of the time it gets stuck in our couches because we forget that it's there and it exists. And unless you are one of those annoying people, I've done it, that goes somewhere and like puts 100 pennies on the table and was like, I want to pay for this. Like, you don't use change unless you're trying to tick somebody off. So
Well, in the early 90s,
we need better money here, guys.
In the early 90s, our government decided, okay, we're done using $2 bills. Let's make a coin.
See,
and call it the toonie.
We used to have $2 bills. You can still collect them and stuff like that, but like we don't use them because they're worth more if you save them than if you spend them. Mostly it's just for collectors.
My husband brought home a $2 bill one day, and I'm just like, I was shocked because I haven't seen one in almost 30 years.
Guys, welcome to Cryptid Crunch, where we go from talking about aliens to money.
To money.
If this was what you were expecting, you're welcome here.
Definitely look up on eBay. You might have a better chance at finding stuff there than, me being able to track one down at a thrift store or a pawn shop. Alien money. Yes, that would be awesome.
I'm looking up where to get it because that way I don't forget.
It was part of the Canadian Mint thing. I doubt they have any more just laying around. I think they only brought out certain. I think they only released a certain amount.
Oh, yes, I found them.
Oh. Easier said than done.
It came out in 2018. So it's not too far behind. I want to buy one now. Okay. Shopping.
Add to cart.
Holy pacheesies. They're trying to sell it. Oh!
How much are they selling it for?
Some of them are like $151. Some of them are $200. Like, y'all are trying to break the bank. I ain't got that much money. I couldn't even afford the $20.
So, speaking of thrift store hunting and looking for old items, I went to Value Village with a friend of mine the other day, and I saw a Mulder and Scully action figure set. I believe they wanted like $25 for it. I actually am kicking myself for saying no, let's not get that. So I might have to go back and get the Mulder and Scully action figure set because it comes with a little alien.
Didn't they just add that to one of the show platforms where you could watch all of those?
Yeah.
It's gotta be on like
I'm
Netflix
pretty sure it's on
or
Netflix.
Hulu or Vudu or something.
Yeah.
Man, I don't have Netflix. I'm missing all the fun stuff.
Do you remember watching X-Files when it was on?
Yes. Constantly. That's probably what happened to me. I thought this was normal stuff growing up, guys. So now I'm just me. Sorry.
Hey, the X-Files was a good show. I think it went on a little too long than it should have got, but I honestly...
No. Any show that I like can never go on long enough. Like they would be like 90-year-old men and women sitting in a chair going, I don't remember what I'm supposed to say. And I'd be like, I'm watching the next episode. um, so
That's
just in case you're curious.
yeah. That's pretty much what I did. That's pretty much what I do when it comes to streaming shows. I'm currently watching The Flight Attendant, so Kelly Cuoco. She's
I love
she's a great actress. Or is it
mostly because Big Bang Theory is one of my favorite series. I went out and bought the entire series twice. I own it on DVD and I own it on Vudu.
Oh, interesting.
Because why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, Kelly's pretty awesome. I like her better with long hair though.
Yes.
Short hair is okay, but you know, whatever.
Did you watch the Harley Quinn show that she was doing the voice for? No? She does a great job in that, but I honestly feel like the woman who does the voice for Bernadette does a better Harley Quinn.
Dan just posted something. Dan, joke's on you. I already own it and I've already watched it a couple times. Thank you very much. It's actually one of my favorite series.
Okay.
Mostly because I really enjoy the newer episodes. The older episodes are great too, but the newer series, basically I fell in love with David Tennant.
I think that's everybody's doctor.
Yeah. So I just kept watching it, and then I watched it again several times. And my husband, every time he walks in, he's like, "You're watching this again?" And I'm like, "Yes, every show is a new adventure." I actually just started rewatching it because I have the entire series on Vudu.
Okay.
And I just restarted watching it again because I watched the newer ones originally when they still had it free on Netflix, I believe it was. And that was like 10 years ago now.
Has it been that long? Wow. I could have sworn that
getting like it's gotta be maybe 7. Maybe 7. But yeah, I watched it when it was still free on Netflix, and then it got taken off of Netflix and I cried, and then I bought the DVDs, and then I bought the Vudu, and now I just watch it obsessively because, you know, why not? And you guys wonder why I'm so weird. I watch things like that for fun.
Doctor Who is a great series.
It is.
I really wish that they would have given Whittaker a bit more of a challenge with the role, but yeah,
true.
That's just my opinion, guys. I know a lot of people don't like her because of other reasons, but
see, I don't think she was bad. I just don't think people were ready for the change after so many years of having a doctor be the male and then switching it to a female. I think it was more like just a shock of, I don't like it because it's new.
Yeah.
Me, I was like, I'm gonna watch it anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. That like they did not give her the same story treatment as the guys, unfortunately, and I blame that is solely on the BBC themselves, not on the actress.
Oh yeah, isn't Doctor Who from Canada? Where's it from?
Britain.
Oh, I love Britain. I was gonna say I love you guys, but no. I mean, no
okay, so we have pretty much the same issue in Canada for our programming that the Brits have with theirs. We do have a publicly funded channel that releases some good stuff once in a while. But yeah, most of our programming, most of the popular programming is taken from the BBC.
You guys, I think we finally went off the tracks about 10 minutes ago now.
Hey, Doctor Who is
We
still
did-
on.
Yeah, but Willow, we did so good. We did so good for the first part of the show. We were like on track and everything. Let me see.
uh, there is no comparison to Red, Green, and Doctor Who.
I don't even know what red green is. Should I know what that is?
Red Green is a comedy show that of a guy that pretends that he's a handyman, but it fails miserably at it.
Oh,
Duct
like
tape.
something stupid that I
Look
would
up
watch.
duct tape. Look up duct tape forever.
This sounds like it's gonna get me in trouble. My husband, like, if anybody looks at my search history, I'm sorry.
Research. Remember, Keisha, you're a writer, so it's all research.
Yeah, but I'm currently writing a children's book and a cookbook. So, Canadian money and duct tape. Oh, I found it. Yep. Definitely gonna watch this. It looks like a really bad version of Tim the Toolman Taylor. I love it.
So what happened to the old burnt prospector? Okay, so Michalik died in 1999 and reportedly still believed the UFO was an experimental aircraft, with reports stating he never claimed the craft he witnessed was of alien origin. Michalik grew weary of the intense media scrutiny on his personal life and shied away from the interviews. During the initial surge, writing in a manuscript that he attempted to break off contact with the outside world, Michalik reportedly regretted telling the story to the wider public. The turmoil surrounding the event caused Michalik to experience domestic problems, with his wife, Maria, struggling to aid him following his traumatic event. Michalik and his family continued to suffer harassment by members of the public, with Michalik's son, Stan, being bullied at school. Maria continued to voice reluctance in coming forward talking about the story with the media. Michalik's son, Stan Michalik, has worked with individuals interested in the sighting following his father's passing. The incident was featured in Unsolved Mysteries Season 5, Episode 8. Michalik was interviewed on his account of the events, and the incident was reenacted with actors. In 2010, singer-songwriter Jim Brierson with the Weaker Thans released their album, The Falcon Lake Incident, which was recorded at a cottage at Falcon Lake named after the incident. John K. Sampson, speaking with the National Post, stated that he did not believe in the extraterrestrials, but he certainly believes in people's encounters. 2013 film Rulers of the Darkness was inspired by the acclaimed event at Falcon Lake. In the film, the protagonist's mother is killed by burns from a UFO at Falcon Lake, mirroring Michalik's claims. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Poor guy.
He just
wanted to live a normal life, and y'all just had to beat him down. I saw this. Yeah. I was trying real hard not to laugh.
Don't forget, Dan, she's a cultist. I seem to recall like the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. One of the episodes was with the aliens, and they bring out this cookbook that says how to eat humans, or no, how to cook humans, and then they keep like blowing off the dust, and it's how to cook for humans, and it just goes on, and it's a bad shtick, but That's one of the
So
things
I
that
think
lives
I
forever in my
have a
brain.
name for my cookbook now.
How to cook for humans that
Know how to cook humans and then just turn it into how to cook for humans. We'll,
scratch it
we'll
off.
see. How to cook for humans and just have a scratch over the for. I like it. I'm going to do it. So far, I've got some weird
Absolutely.
stuff going in there. I made some really yummy homemade egg rolls the other day, and I put way too much ginger in it, like fresh ginger, but it was delicious. So, I don't know. If you guys like cooking, I'll have a cookbook soon.
See, this is why I love pop culture, because it's always stolen from something else.
True, true. Well, see, we kind of got back on
On
track.
track.
Thanks, Dan, Carl. Carl. I was going to say it was somebody in the comments. Yeah, that's about right. So hi, guys.
So what is your daughter up to?
She. I'm going to sound like a horrible mom right now. Okay, so my best friend gave me a bunch of supplements and stuff like that that she no longer uses after her chemo and everything is done. And so like she gave me like some calcium chews, some basically, you know, every type of vitamin you can think of. And one of them was melatonin. And it was a gummy. And Dolores was like, "Can I have a gummy?" And I was like, I looked at the back and I was like, you know what? You can.
Sure.
So
you are not a bad mom at all. Not a bad mom at all.
I gave her a melatonin gummy because she was really excited to try it. And she's like, this is really yummy. And she laid down on my chair and she's like, Mommy, I'm really tired. And I was like, oh, it's almost showtime. So I went over and I was like, Mommy's just going to turn off the light so that it's not in your face. And so I turned off the light and I went out and I was cooking some banana bread and I turned back around and the eyes were closed and she was out and it was like 2 seconds later. So I was like, yes. So parenting win, parenting fail. I mean, either way, it's quiet tonight minus the cats meowing in the background. So you're welcome.
Hey,
melatonin works wonders.
Again, you are not a bad mom for doing that, because I think anything that helps a kid sleep better is A+ in my books.
I just felt guilty because she really wanted to try it, and I was like, okay, because she likes to. I have vitamin gummies that she likes to try, and I'm like, okay, vitamin gummies. I was like, melatonin's like all natural and stuff. And I made sure it was safe for children before I gave it to her. You're welcome to the audience. But side note, they don't work for me.
Oh.
I took like 3 of them last night and I was like, okay, I should get a good night's sleep. No. Apparently insomnia is strong with this one.
Huh.
So, Carl said Keisha's favorite gummies now. Yes. Hashtag gummies for life. No. So I probably won't give them to her unless she's like refusing to take a nap. Oh, yeah, that's how that works now.
And that brings me to an episode of Titus where Thanksgiving they get drugged.
Yep. Good night, everybody.
Tryptophan, which is in Turkey. Their Titus's mom drugged them with tryptophan.
Well, hey, I bet you there was a lot less arguments for Thanksgiving. If Thanksgiving is anything like U.S. Thanksgiving, in general, yeah.
trust me, there has been times where I thought of bringing something to my family gatherings. Yep.
Side note, we do not condone drugging anybody on this show.
No, no. The opinions expressed on this show is purely that of the host, and it does not reflect at all what they network opinions are.
Carl, hey, hubby, hey, how did these little holes get burned in my shirt while I was sleeping? I'm telling you guys, it was that iron. They
Yeah,
made
that
iron.
that makes
That's what I'm
that
going
makes more
with.
sense than the the aliens spaceship turning counterclockwise and blowing exhaust onto the guy's clothing. Yep.
You're welcome, Donna.
Oh, and Drew just
Hi,
comes
Drew.
in. All right.
Welcome to whatever this is.
It is 9 o'clock. I think we should call it quits. We've been bantering. We, I think we're done with our
It's safe to say.
conclusion. The story was a sham, as far as I'm concerned.
Unfortunately.
So yeah, aliens do exist, but not in that way.
Maybe we'll do another show on aliens we think are real.
All right, so Keisha has a book out. Let's play her commercial. All right.
Dude, I didn't realize how intense the music is for that trailer until I had it on like full blast in my ears 2 seconds ago. Whew! That's some good music though.
All right, so if you love our shows, contribute at buymeacoffee.com/serialboxpod. If you hate our shows, continue anyway. Contribute anyway, if I only learn how to read, so we can make improvements for you. And trust me, I will go to school if we get enough money and learn how to read properly.
Hashtag send Willow to... Oh god. Okay. I love you, Willow.
All right, so Keisha, where can we find you on social media? Or well, wait, we can't find you on social media. You're on a sabbatical.
So, guys, I am taking a sabbatical from social media, just because mental health, y'all. It is not healthy to be on social media 24/7 and comparing yourself to everyone and everything. Just don't do it, guys. Don't do it. That being said, you can still find me on literally every social media platform, but there will probably not be any real updates for a while. I will still be doing my show here because obviously I love you guys and I'm not going to just abandon you guys because this is technically my job and I'm not going to give up on that. So, but yes, if you want to find any of my artwork or anything, my books, my book is on Amazon and my artwork you can look at on Instagram at Acuff Creations or Creations Acuff. That's my Instagram and Facebook. So you guys can find my stuff there.
Excellent.
Willow.
And you guys can find me pretty much everywhere on social media. I made a TikTok page. I put myself on TikTok specifically to follow people that are on TikTok.
You should follow me that way when I get back I have a follower.
So I'm being a good friend and following several of my friends on TikTok because, well, that way when they go live, I can watch their shows. Yeah. So I'm being a good friend, despite the fact that I did it kicking and screaming.
Oh, honey, if you're anything like me, I did it. So I think he was 11 at the time, but my son, who is 12, convinced me to get a Tic Tac. I call it Tic Tac because I refuse to call it by its original name. Um, but I got it as a joke because he kept sending me every night. He sends me at least 40 Tic Tacs to my phone. He saves them to his phone and then sends me them manually because he knows I'm not on TikTok right now. And so, so I got it as a joke, and then it just it went downhill from there. Like, I'm on the not so fun side of TikTok, so like I get a bunch of cooking. Like, there's this one grandma that cooks, and she's like, "I'm everybody's grandma," and I love watching her. I will cry if anything ever happens to her. But my husband's like watching these hilarious videos and stuff, and so is my son. And I'm over here watching cooking videos and
Hey,
videos about books. So, I mean,
there is nothing wrong with following your passions. I follow a farmer on TikTok.
I follow lots of them,
So,
even ones that I don't think are ethically right. I should probably stop following them. But they've got cute animals. I love them. Side note, so guys, that's where you can find us. And then buy us a coffee again. Yeah. So I think we should probably cut that off before
yeah.
whatever happens.
All right. You guys have a great night. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos and all the coming into the show every time we're on. I appreciate you guys. Have a good night.
Auf Wiedersehen.